Hello Pisces, let's check your October reading. Guys, don't forget to check your ascendant and check your moon sign. If you don't know how to do it, the link is down in the description. It's free, so that way you get way more messages, right? Because general reading, you cannot expect everything is just catered for you. So this way you kind of like glue more things together. So let's see what October brings. It's going to be, astrologically is a tricky month, but I really want to see if that's really going to affect you. Ooh, you're getting the base kind of, and we have 2 6s, so there is like a soulmate-y kind of like feel. You're going to feel that there's like something moving forward. It could be like engagement in a relationship of some sort, something really going in a good direction, and something really happening. This is kind of like about choices, and the choice could be kind of like jumping into something that is maybe flirty and unexpected, and for you it's going to be very sexy and very sexual, but it's going to be having that romantic element that you always desire in this kind of situation. You have Page of Swords, so it's kind of like weird. You're having 2 kind of like air cards so far showing through, and Page of Swords can be somebody younger. It could be your child too, but it could be that is a younger lover, and somebody who is maybe not the most, let's say, polished, but somebody who talks a lot and sometimes says creepy or weird things, and it could be to some extent a little bit of turn off, but nonetheless is somebody who is really interesting to you. So what we have on the bottom, we have 3 of Swords. So this really tells you that maybe you also need to be very selective in who do you let close to you, who you're not, because this can talk about heartache. This can also talk about the third person. Maybe somebody is gaslighting you. Maybe somebody is trying to convince you into something you know very well is not true. You guys are highly intuitive sign, and you kind of like have your antennas, so when what people say do not match with what you feel and sense through your antennas, you feel alerted, right? You feel like there's like something going on that can show through as simply being agitated or irritable, or all of a sudden you don't like something, all of a sudden you're changing your opinion, you're moody. You need to recognize these are the signs that are telling you that something is off, that you need to pay attention to something. Maybe this is how you can prevent this. Let's see what was happening in the past. There's like 5 of Pentacles. Maybe there's like somebody who left you, or maybe you left somebody. Maybe it was a third party situation where, you know, the third party doesn't necessarily mean that somebody's actually pursuing 2 people. It could simply mean that there's like still lingering emotional connection with someone, while, you know, with somebody else, something else started because maybe they got rejected on one end, and now you cannot engage fully because you still feel there is a connection, yet there's like not something that you can put a finger on because they're telling you all the right things, right? And this kind of like over talking could be simply, or overextending themselves could be simply one of the red flags, so pay attention to that. And then is like Ace of Cups reverse. So why is that after the Lover showing through like this? Even though something, and this is a major arcana, this one should take precedence over it. Maybe it is you that is really not open. Maybe it is you that you feel, I still need to kind of like do things. I'm not over something or somebody. Maybe somebody has hurt you, and no amount of talking you into going into something new right now is really getting in the position that you feel fully open. I'm really picking up, even though it's not the cards, I'm feeling a little bit kind of like closed in energy here that is really happening. I also feel that Mercury retrograde is going to have this big influence on you, but let's talk about it later. So there you go, like we're going with 1 foot forward and with another one backwards. So it's kind of like feels like really messy, because this card is about love messages and love expression, and somebody he is like coming through, because you're like a big dreamer of the zodiac and of tarot, and for you, like, I mean, this romantic expressions and flowers and poems, that actually all works with you, right? For some signs like mine, it will be like, you, and hence that's why you scoop all the kind of like good guys, right? But it looks like that also these words can be used against you, that people can swoon you and woo you with things, and they know that will work with you, and yet because of that romance that you're getting, maybe you don't really see things that you should. But here it looks like that sometimes, like, I mean, you cannot avoid the obvious, because this was like a very pragmatic way that something was said to you or presented to you that you really kind of like, it was glaring in your face for one reason or another. But it's going to be just like that, and one day you feel one way, you want to go in one direction, or you're getting those messages from somebody, another day you're going to feel like, what, why am I sad? I shouldn't be feeling like this, kind of like on and off, which kind of like clearly can mean that you are the one healing. And there's your card, moon card, and this month this is almost like normal that I'm seeing the card of the sun coming through. It's not upright though, it's reversed. And in the upper situation really talks about listening to like your intuition, going in all this direction, not really looking what is obvious, but really kind of like allowing like your higher guide to kind of like get you to some situation. It came reversed, which is more like kind of reverting to, you need to watch the signs, you need to watch what is obvious, you need to see if your friends are telling you that something is odd and off and it's not going to work. You need to listen to it, because you'll be getting that support, you'll be getting those messages, right? It almost looks like that maybe you're coming to the point that you really want to close something, whether this is like some emotional process or relationship. It's weird. You will have basically people who will woo you. You will have people who will be coming through. There is going to be an offer, and it's going to be a possibility of a relationship, but that seed that is falling down, it's not necessarily going to hatch, it's not going to take on. It's very strange. And this is the environment. Somebody's really coming through, and somebody's very, very patient with you. I mean, you have this Gemini Sagittarius axis, so you might be having these two signs, or having like planets in those signs like very prevalent in this person's chart, if this is like talking about that. If not, if this is, for example, talking about career, or it's talking about some other issues in your life, and like now you have like 3 majors, which is quite a bit for a 10-card spread, right? So this means that somebody is trying to convince you that in spite of everything that you see, things can be worked and workable. And you're saying, well, I have seen the story before, I have played the song before, and it never ended well. Well, guess what? This month, with this Mercury retrograde, it goes from the 13th of October to November 3rd. So part of it is going to be in Libra, part of that is going to be in Scorpio. Scorpio switches on the 22nd. That part from the 22nd on is going to be very tricky, but for you it's going to be actually the initial part around October 13th, 14th. That is going to be really interesting, right? So it can be a little bit, you might be a little bit paranoid, you might get very obsessive, you might want answers, you might want the dedication, and this is really the last time, like, I mean, last kind of like dates that you should look for it is during Mercury retrograde, right? Because even if people say and confirm everything that you want, you will still feel, oh my God, this is wrong. You like, right? It's almost like the radio station is not properly kind of like set on, and you're getting these mixed messages, you're getting something from one, something from another. So because your antennas are not picking up on the intuition, so there is this like blockage, and this is why you really need to listen to kind of like, not your intuition, actually. You need this month to really kind of like follow your intellect and sort of like see if something looks right, if something logically you would recommend to your best friend or to your family. If not, then you know like there is like something over here that you need to address. But nonetheless, maybe this is you who's like that hesitant person to move forward. Maybe it's you who kind of like chase everybody away. It looks like you're going to spend lots of time on social media this month, I really have to tell you. But when the Scorpio hits in, and that's kind of like your sister sign, when it turns from the 22nd on, the intensity is going to really increase. And I don't know, like there's like some kind of like level of adventure that I also see here. So there is like this exploration. You are actually getting back on your feet. You are starting to plan. You are starting to think new directions. You're almost like leaving this bolted. You see, one is bolted, one is not bolted, one in the past. So there's like this motion forward over here. So this is kind of like, to me, signifying recovery as well. Ta-da! Lovely finale, lovely ending, because this is kind of like talking about transparency. So everything is in the clear. You know everything. I really think that even though you might have setbacks, you might have the feeling that you have to leave somebody, or that somebody would leave you, or there's like somebody else in the story, you're going to start feeling really that comfort within yourself, and you're going to say, why am I finding myself in a situation that somebody else is cutting my destiny, that somebody else, and not even somebody else, but somebody else and somebody attached to that somebody else is cutting my destiny? Why am I feeling that I actually deserve to be there? And you're going to feel, look, this just doesn't look right. And that's going to be maybe that kind of like point back where you're going to pull away, and then you're going to regret that you pulled away, because Mercury retrograde always kind of like makes us regret our decision. But nonetheless, you're going to quickly bounce on your feet. You're going to feel really confident in the decision that you have made. And it looks like, in spite of these setbacks, that you will moving forward. And we are going to get end of the month, Halloween is full moon in Taurus, and this is like where some kind of like comfort comes in. Keep in mind this card means commitment, right? So we're talking 18 over here, and this is 19, so they're like now 4 major arcanas. Hi Safi, are you bringing luck to Pisces? Oh, you're not talking today? Is that possible? I'm a high maintenance put again. So my dear Pisces, this is it for me. Something is ending really well. Something starts murky, indecisive. I want it, I don't want it. And then it goes into kind of like love messages, even can go in a commitment. And somebody has been there around you very patiently, looking and waiting and nurturing. And you need to understand that maybe things didn't really work in the past. That things, and you know, like I'm not the best one when I see same old, don't expect different results. Actually, during this Scorpion Mercury retrograde, certain things, certain kind of bonds can be forged for a lifetime. So you need to acknowledge that somebody has been there, maybe not necessarily this person, could be 2 different people. Acknowledge this person, because that person would be really, really good for you. So in terms of astrology, you have possibly Gemini, you have Sagittarius, you have Pisces, you have also Virgo, and you have a Leo that I see very strongly here. So it could be one of these aspects that are influencing your chart. It could be that you have that kind of like person in your life. So guys, follow me on Instagram if you haven't, at Cat Tarot, Facebook and Twitter the same. So you can get the daily dose of tarot. Saturday at 11 Eastern Standard Time in the morning. We have live, and then basically you get more messages and even a little mini reading. You can ask a question for yourself. And if you want a reading with me, contact me at cattarot.ca. You can go to my website and see different options, or simply just write to me, and I would like to hear from you, or leave a comment on the website, on the channel. Love you guys. Have a wonderful month. You're going to be really, really happy, and you're going to have a really interesting Halloween celebration with possible champagne and a bubble bath. Love you. All the best.